In 1984, we began the use of our current vaccine, which we believe is the best vaccine that we've ever been able to create for melanoma. And we started treating patients in investigational studies to examine how well we were able to actually amend their immune activity and cause tumor to regress or protect patients against recurrence of their disease. The way that this is intended to work is to use the melanoma cells as a stimulant and a target marker for the immune cells. If you can teach lymphocytes and other immune cells to recognize those antigens, they can potentially conjure up an army of immune cells that can find them and kill them anywhere in the body. And that's the intention with which we give these vaccines to our patients. We've been very successful in the sense that we've created a vaccine that can stimulate immune response in patients to whom it's given in better than 90% of the cases. When we looked at the 1,200 who had not had vaccine, the 5-year survival was 6%. That means that 6% of these people lived 5 years or longer. When we looked at the melanoma vaccine-treated group, 26% lived 5 years or longer. That's more than 4 times the survival. I know of no other treatment that has offered that possibility. And the thing that for me cinches this is that the patient's quality of survival is very remarkably good. I think that it's helpful when you treat someone with a melanoma and not make them ill. It gives them the possibility of believing that this could be a positive experience for them. It's very hard to feel that way about a therapy that makes you sick.
Dr. Geronimo Rubio is a medical doctor. Currently, he is the medical director of the American Metabolic Institute in La Mesa, Mexico. There, he has worked upon the idea of vaccines, and they're combined with the right technology, as well as herbs, botanicals, vitamins, all in an effort to try to bring to a halt and even reverse cancer.
The first step to the immunotherapy are teach the T cells or white cells to recognize the cancer and attack it and destroy it. When we apply the vaccine or the white cells or the T cells to the patient, these white cells now with a specific memory, they will go to the body, if the tumor is spread to any organ, they will be there and attack and destroy. The most important fact about this vaccine are that these T cells will teach the own bone marrow of the patient to produce the same type of the T cells to keep attacking the cancer. The effect of the vaccines in conjunction with the metabolic therapy and some radiation and the herbs, this vaccine is very effective. We can say, if we allow the patients to click the immune system, they can stop the cancer about 60 to 80%. We have another technique that we use in the hospital, and we use the Rife frequency generator. For example, when the patients need some radiation, remember radiation is a continuous frequency. But what's happened with the cancer cell? The cancer cell is too smart to adapt to this frequency. In 3 days after the radiation, the cancer cell adapted. But if we combine with the Rife, it's an alternate frequency. We are not going to give chance to the cancer cell to adapt, and we can destroy the cancer cells.
In Dr. Rubio's protocol, they use shark cartilage. They also do a lot of metabolic work. There's a strong detoxification and modified juice fasting program. They use supplements, everything from herbs like licorice root and lemon and corn silk to pau d'arco. They also use digestive enzymes and oxygen therapy like germanium.
For example, we make a big research in lung cancers, and we use interferon with zinc and oxygen, and we apply the interferon by oxygen, and the tumor stops. Remember, cancer don't like oxygen, and if we apply the medication with oxygen, the patient will respond better. When a patient develops a tumor, all these dead proteins, plus they make a lot of free radicals. So we gotta use antioxidants. This is why the vitamin C is so important. We need to use in patients 150 grams every day of vitamin C. Or we can use antioxidant like a pycnogenol or grapeseed extract, or right now tomatoes. Tomatoes, you know, for a long time they say they can switch your pH in your blood and they can make the tumor to grow, but now we find that tomatoes, they have the strongest antioxidant that we have outside. So we can use pycnogenol, grapeseed extracts, and tomatoes right now, and the vitamin C.
Dr. Robert McGorney has his own clinic in the Los Angeles area where he takes tissue samples from patients and does extensive testing to determine the substance that is most effective in killing the cancer cells for that particular individual. He uses anything that works from herbs to pharmaceuticals.
Anne is in the process of distributing tissue culture media containing cancer cells into the microtiter wells. These are the vessels in which the drug exposures take place. The cells are exposed to the drugs, and then after 72 to 96 hours in an incubator, the cells are then stained to determine whether the drugs have effectively killed the cancer cells. Once the cells have been distributed into the microtiter plates, they are then taken with drug exposure ongoing into an incubator, and the incubator creates a body-like environment which is maintained at 37 degrees, 5% CO2, and in this environment the cells are allowed to die after drug exposure. By measuring which drugs most effectively kill the cancer cells, we can then determine which drugs would most likely help the patient. And these tissue culture studies are the major part of our laboratory work here, analyzing drug and biologic agent effects in the test tube so as to predict which patients will benefit.
I chose to have the medical approach to ovarian cancer, and I'm grateful that I also chose to look for many other things that I could do to participate in my healing.
It takes us a long time to actually to produce the symptoms of dis-ease, and healing therefore is not an overnight event. It takes the time it takes, and patience is really one of the virtues that we have to develop in a situation like this.
So I decided to do something good. Instead of hating my body and cut it, just feed it with love, treat it good. And my body responds. I mean, that was 2 years ago that I was supposed to be dead 2 years ago, and I'm feeling great. I dance 8 hours a day, have a lot of energy.
What I find is that when you embark on a program of health, you begin to enjoy every day. Not like it's your last day, but every single day has meaning.
There are many different approaches to cancer, and it's not to suggest that you should take either the alternative or the orthodox. In many cases, it's appropriate to take combinations of both. But let's be aware that they exist and start treating them with the respect that they deserve. After all, who is the best expert on what works in cancer? The doctor, the scientist, or the patient who's had to go through the process? When a patient says that they are alive today because they've sought and received alternative therapy, we should give them some credit. I'm Gary Null. Thank you very much for watching.